Hello, welcome to another YouTube video. Now today's video is based on this question which I've been asked. Can you give us a guide on the mana calculator, especially with the Nightmare Puppeteer? I didn't really find any guidance about that, please. Now, for the Nightmare Puppeteer, best thing to do is just use the build guide or build optimizer because that works out the skill points you use. Now, there is a mana calculator on the Tap Titans 2 compendium website. So it's best place to go is to look there. Now they have updated some of the builds, only 3 out of the 6 builds. So if you go to, we can Google Tap Titans 2 compendium or provide a link in the description below. But if you go to builds, there's 3 builds they've done so far. So Clanship, Shadow Clone and Heavy Strike have been updated. Now we use Shadow Clone and Heavy Strike as example. So we do Shadow Clone. Now, if you go to this, there's 2 main ways you can do this. You can do, they've given a written example, so you can do the easy way, which is just kind of guesswork, or you can do the scientific way using MMLH's assorted minor sheets. This is like a Google document with loads of kind of formulas to figure out exactly what mana to use. But to figure out how much puppeteer, like puppeteer level, just follow the build guide as normal. So put in your stats, which how many skill points you have, and it'll tell you how much to do. Now, if you want to get specific on your mana, so based on your question about your mana calculator, so what to do, mainly it'd be limit break and mana siphon. So that's limit break there, and that's mana siphon. So normally it's which level to put these. Now, the easiest way is go through the recommendations on this build page. So the recommendation would be to leave limit break at level 2, and then put the mana siphon at different levels. So start level 7 and then try to go to your max stage. If it's not enough and you find you're running out of skill points a lot, then increase it to 12 and again do another run. And if you find out you're running out, you're activating your spells and you don't have enough mana, again increase it to 16. So start off, I would recommend when you're building your creating your build, leave about 400 to 500 skill points spare, and then keep it limit break at level 2, then put mana siphon at level 7, do a run, and you find out if you're running out of mana, or you're not doing a full run without activating your spells, then increase it to 12 and then 16. So that's kind of the easiest way to deal with it. If you want to do it a bit more scientific, then you can use MMLH's assorted minor sheet. So again, just click on the link that's highlighted there. I can put a separate link in the description below if you need to. First thing you need to do before you do anything is do make a copy. So you need to click make a copy. So that's file, make a copy. I think there's another button around here that does it. If you don't, you can't edit the document, so you can't work on the document because it'd be set to view only. It just basically means you can't click on certain cells, you can't interact with the document. So the first thing you do is click file, make a copy. Now the 2 tabs, there's loads of tabs at the bottom that gives you access to. So BOS leveling, reduction sample, reduction expanded splash. But the ones you want to be looking at is mana consumption calculator. So you want to update that first, and then the LB siphon optimizer, and that basically inputs what you need to use. So let me just open this up a little bit so you can see a bit more. Square that there so my head's not in the way. Let's just squeeze in the corner. So the first tab is mana consumption, just as it says. So you want to update everything you see green. So if you've got these artifacts above my head, so Infinite Pendulum, Glove, Kuma, Titan Spear, tick them. They're already pre-ticked, but untick them if you don't have them. These are levels are you multi-skills. So if you click on, let's bring up my game. So if you bring up your spells, they should be level 30. If you've got the equipment and boost them an extra 5 level, which is the mythic set, the Fallen Angel, that gives you an extra 5 spells. So you should either be 30 or 35, depending if you've got that mythic set, the Fallen Angel. So the input, which one you are. So this is going to be an example Heavy Strike one. So that's where you see Heavy Strike is on 35. It's 0 on Deadly Strike because you shouldn't have Deadly Strike on a Heavy Strike build. And you can see you haven't got any on Dual Summon because it's not a pet build. And you haven't got any on Blade or Thundership because it's not a dagger build or clanship build. So this is kind of what you should be looking at if you're basing it on a Heavy Strike build. Again, update all the information, how many crafting power you have. So again, you can go to in-game, there's several ways to do it on here. Well, on the equipment crafting, it says at the bottom, so 41, and you just update your stats accordingly to what the build and what you have in game. Once it's been all updated, it'll give you the mana necessary per minute at the bottom. Now, as you can see, it's 106 is quite low. That's because I haven't got heavy strike spam, which you would include if you're running a heavy strike build, and you might have forbidden contract or raw contract. Forbidden and raw contract activated, and if you can see, it increases your mana per minute. Now, once you've worked out how much mana gain you need, you might need, if it's quite high, going on the LB Siphon Optimizer sheet, this is the table which is to the right, that will tell you the kind of mana per minute range you should be looking at. I'll go through the link between both tabs in a sec, but I'm just going to quickly show you what it looks like. Now, at the higher range, you can see around about 3,000 is all in grey, which basically means it's maxed limit break of 25 and very high mana siphon as well. That's the reason. The reason being is probably because you've either using too much high multicast or too much high forbidden contract or contract. So if that's the case, if you've got a very, very high mana per minute calculations, if it's in like the 4, 5, 6,000, start having to play around, remove forbidden contracts, that lowers it. Add in rejuvenation. For example, if you reduce it to rejuvenation skill to level 7, it cuts off like 2,000 skill points. That will help. So have a play around. For example, like heavy strike spam, straight away you can see how much it is. So once you've worked out the optimal amount for mana necessary, mine says 3,752. You then go to this tab and you go to the bottom left, fill in this information first. So for example, again, probability or probability slash mana potion if you're going to use it. So that's one of the perks. Most of these you can leave the same, so taps per minute, shadow clone and that sort of thing. Input your mana base, and once it's all updated, it will update the table for you. Update on table on the right to basically color code it in the right areas to make sure it's optimized for what you've inputted, and then you just follow it. You literally go left is limit break, along top is mana siphon. So say for example it says you've got 572 mana regen per minute. You click on this box because that'll be roughly the closest to it, 572 where it is. So it means you have a level 9 limit break and a level 9 mana siphon. That will be the optimal for how many minutes, how many mana regens you need per minute. Again, if you were going quite higher, because in here I'm doing heavy strikes, so it's going to be really ridiculously high. It's 3,072. So I would have around about 3,000, around about this area here somewhere. I'm trying to find where it is now. So it probably around about the grey area. So basically I'll be maxed out. So it's more than likely I'll be maxed out at like 23, 24 limit break, and then 19, 20 mana siphon. So around about that block area. So that gives you an indication about how much you should have in your mana siphon and limit break if you use this formula like correctly with all the stats and figures. It does need a bit of tweaking, but as I said, the easiest way, the reason why I do it, because that takes ages to optimize it, would be simply leave myself about 400 to 500 skill points, follow the build anyway as per usual using the optimizer, and then put two skill points in limit break, and then just go to like 7, 12 or 16 on the mana siphon. Again, if those don't work, if you've got level 16 mana siphon and level 2 limit break and you're still running it out, it could be your multicast. If you're very low level and you got multicast level max like level 10 or 12, that might be just too high for you at the moment, so maybe keep it at level 1. These are for people who've messaged me and they're using Shadow Clone build, and they're using Shadow Clone build at like 400 skill points, like very low level, under stage 5,000. So they're very low level, they're quite new to the game, and they're basically trying to follow a build that's too OP for them at the moment. So just reduce your multicast down, try to lower down your build, and that might help with your mana. I've also done a mana guide, so how to optimize your mana by activating your spells, not all at once, one at a time. So activating just your war cry or crit, And then once that's been fully maxed out, use the next spell and do it per spell. So there's a lot of information on my mana guide video. I'll link that in the description below. But I hope this tool helps and explains. Please help support the makers of this website. They do work a lot of effort on how to making these documents available for us for free. So support them. All the links are on the website at the bottom on the main homepage. So if you go to the homepage, let's go welcome. So all the information are down here. Send the message. They've got some donation links as well. So go to the support page as well. Thank you very much, guys. I hope this helps. If it has, make sure you're subbed and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.